Radio Rahim with Frank Warren once again in Riyadh. Riyadh season as always. Let's just get the breaking news out of the way, clear the table on that. Floyd Schofield, obviously he's not your fighter. It's not your problem. The board has done what they have to do when a fighter is not well. This has a wrinkle, though, that's unusual to me, in that his father tweeted from the hospital. I mean, look at this picture, right?
Father took that photograph.
Yeah.
Well, now you know why he's not boxing. That's the end of that, isn't it? That's why the Board of Control looks to me, looking at that photograph, that is an unbelievably undisputable reason he shouldn't be boxing. He don't look well to me in that photograph.
We haven't seen the chairman, Bob Arum, over in Saudi these last couple of times. I have to say I've missed him. Yeah. He's my second favorite promoter. With you going to DAZN, Tyson Fury on the sideline, it appears that this ESPN deal with Top Rank is done. What's next for Top Rank, do you reckon?
I mean, I've got to be honest, I don't know. I haven't spoken to Bob for a little while. But look, Bob's obviously a very knowledgeable guy. He's got a great team around him, and I'm sure they've got something set up. They'll have a home. They've got some good fighters, and they'll continue doing what they're doing.
You and Eddie, we've had so many years of getting the needle between the two of you.
So many years of clickbait.
And you'll see, like, you've been sitting here for a few interviews, and there'll be a few after me, and everybody's just trying to get in there and see if there's any rub. Now that the two of you are on the same network, this competition doesn't go away. There's been a little back and forth. Yeah, talk to me about the competition side of being on the same network.
Well, you want to be the best, don't you?
Of course.
You're both doing there. You're both, we want our fighters to be better than their fighters and vice versa, and our promotions to be better than theirs. So that's great for DAZN and more importantly for their viewers. It's competition. But what will be good out of it is that we'll be able to, I think it'd be easier for us to make fights where we're not dealing with, two networks to make a fight. I think that's what's so good about it.
He's taking a little exception, I think, to Nunes being on the sideline with the fight that you just made there. Are you outmaneuvering him right now? I mean, in 24, you guys by far did the business. Now 25, you're on the same network. Are you showing your business acumen and outmaneuvering Eddie Hearn a little bit this time?
No, I mean, we always played a long game. Mm-hmm. It's always been for us about nurturing and bringing through talent and developing them. And we had a little bit of a fruit when we got involved with Box Nation, because at the time Sky they were at that moment going to pull out of boxing, but then had a reversal. But we'd left by then, and we went and done our own thing, and it was a tough time. And then along came BT, and we said to them at the time, this is what we want to do. This is our business plan. It's going to take so many years to get to where we need to get to, but we believe that we'll have the best heavyweights and other fighters and so forth. And I think we achieved that. I think up until BT became TNT, and certainly TNT, I think they had the best roster of heavyweights, and still do until we leave in April, and then it goes across the road.
And we're seeing the 5v5 on the horizon.
And we've got another 5v5, which I hope is going to be a regular occurrence, because I love the format. I love the fights that we put together. I love the competition. And I love winning when we won the first one, but irrespective of that, it was exciting, and we're competitive people, we're competitive businesses, and I think we've both got our different ways of doing things, but we get there at the end, and we mostly achieve just what we set out to do, we achieve. And I think that we're going to get some really good shows this year out of the both of us.
Well, in the last 5v5, Matchroom couldn't take a single victory. So now it looks like Eddie's gone to backing your own fighter against your own fighter maybe to get a W. I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek with that, but he has backed Joseph Parker, and you promote both fighters. How difficult is it to navigate those waters when both guys are with you, and you got to say, I'm in one guy's corner as opposed to the other?
Well, look, I'll say how it is. I mean, it's not like we haven't done that before. I mean, at the end of the day, it's called professional boxing, and And if you've got two guys and they're under the same promotional banner and it's business, they'll fight each other. Daniel started out with us. We invested in him at a very young age before he turned professional. And that's nearly 10 years ago. So it's been a long journey, and it's been exciting. And off and on, I've promoted Joe a few times. And I love Joe. He's a really lovely guy, big friend of Tyson. And he's had a couple of fights, as you know, on the shows out here, and done extremely well. Some good wins against top 10 opponents, former world champion himself. And, he knows I'm leaning towards Daniel. He's not stupid. He knows that. I'm not going to kid him any other way. But, I love him as a boxer, as a person. And as long as it's a good fight, they both come out of it healthy and well. They're going to make money. God bless them. Good luck. And if it's Daniel, it's Daniel. It's Joe, it's Joe. But, obviously I'll lean towards Daniel. I can't say any different than that.
You think maybe Eddie is leaning towards Joseph Parker because he'd rather that fight for Joshua than to go back in against Dubois?
I don't know. You got to ask him that one. I mean, it's the fight I would really love to see is if Daniel comes through. I'd love to see the rematch with Usyk. That's the fight I want to see.
All right.
I think that's unfinished business.
Now, you have to play a little bit of theater with me because I spoke to Johnny Nelson yesterday, who's good for I know I've seen the eye roll already, but he's good for a conspiracy theory, and he has put forward that maybe Fury doesn't want Joshua right now. He's swerving that fight intentionally, waiting in hopes that he can get the winner of Dubois Parker. If Fury were to ring you up and say, listen, boss, I'm back. That's the fight I want. Do you make it?
If he wants to fight. Tyson's a friend as well as somebody we promoted. If he did, I don't think he will come back. So I don't think he wants to come back at the moment. He's in a good place. He's got a lot of projects on. If he come back and he wanted to discuss that, of course I'd sit down and listen to him. But conspiracy theory bullshit. Johnny retired. He was supposed to fight Enzo Maccarinelli. He retired. He didn't. Enzo was flying at the time, and didn't want to fight. He retired for whatever reason, and Tyson's retired, and that's it. There's no conspiracy theory with John when he retired. That was the end of it.
Lastly, another fight that you get to enjoy without having any skin in the game. Obviously, the main event, Beterbiev, Bivol. It's a lot of back and forth about who won that first fight, how it goes the second time. Who makes the adjustment? Do we get a clear winner on Saturday night?
I think we will do. I mean, I picked Beterbiev to win the first fight, and then I thought the other guy just done it. I thought he'd done enough in the fight, not in the latter rounds, but earlier on in the fight. I think the first round will be the 13th round.
Yeah.
That's what I think will happen. So
that advantages Beterbiev, yeah?
Yeah, so I think he'll start faster. I would suggest he'd start faster. That's what I would be advising him to do. We'll see what Bivol does. But, they're two extremely exponents of the art of boxing. They are unbelievable fighters, the best of their generation, both of them. And you're going to get another classic fight. And for me, I'm a fan in that fight. I've got no skin in the game with either of them. I'll be sitting there and enjoying the fight. 4 belts on the line, 5 belts on the line with the Ring Magazine belt and the Undisputed belt. All these belts, their trousers will never, ever fall down. Or the winners won't.
Well, sadly, I've got to leave you because I got to run and tell Eddie Hearn everything you've said, try to wind him up for a reaction. Radio Rahim with Frank Warren.
As if you would do that.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the time.